Okay, boys. So I like to start off with I'm not the most religious person out there. Okay, like today was actually like my one of the first days I've actually been to church in like a long time, right? And so, nevertheless, I still want to talk about talk about God and shit like that. Okay, and so today's topic is God resides within us, but also so does the devil, and this is very very important to understand because, well, as I reflected in my life, is like I wonder why like I desire to like stray off the path, right? So like as you know, recently I haven't been uploading videos, um, and it was because I was just being lazy. I was just being complacent. I was giving into the worldly desire to just sit back, relax, be slothful, right? Not do anything and just get complacent. Give into the not increased cap. Give into instant gratification, and so I wanted to talk about this. So let's get into it. We have we have godly desires, but we also have worldly desires. So what does that mean? What are godly desires? Godly desire is basically what God has given you, right? He has instilled upon you a desire, right? A God-given purpose. And you hear me talk about it a lot on this channel. It's like you must be pursuing your God-given purpose because God has a plan for you. He wants you to do something in this world, right? And you have like potential for greatness, okay? You have, creation, like creation is a divine action. He wants you to create and put out into the world. It is part of his plan for you. He wants you to be giving your own gifts, right? And when I think of like the godly desires, it's really things that are not taking. It's more on things giving, like putting out into the world. Because again, like if we go back to the principle standpoint, like God did not take everything, he gave out. He created the whole entire world around us, right? And so as a man, our God-given purpose is to we must be fulfilling our God-given purpose. It is in our nature to create, to give, to produce, to do things into the world. Okay, it is in our divine nature to do that. But then there's also the worldly desires when and those worldly desires came in because like, okay guys, I'm really going off my own knowledge. So like I know somebody said, hey, what the fuck did you know that? This is like my interpretation of things that I've learned, okay, from the Bible, from my own experiences and shit like that. So if you guys have like a counter belief, this is really from my own interpretation, okay? So the worldly desires is like basically it was introduced to us because Eve ate from the tree and then made Adam eat from the tree of knowledge of good and evil. And that's when sin entered the world. That's when we started getting the knowledge of evil, right? Of doing random ass shit, bad shit that's not aligned to God, right? And so like some worldly desires that we have, it could be like, you know, just pursuing money, pursuing fame, pursuing women, pursuing, you know, instant gratification. Like a subtopic for women is like porn, pornography, casual sex and shit like that. Fame, like just seeking status in a certain area. Dude, like video games. Like we see these big things like this is very broad money, fame, women. Like you gotta understand, like it has been prevalent in my life in these areas too. Like fame was video game, like being the best Fortnite player there is, right? You know, just wasting away. And so basically, we have both of these desires within us, right? Because we were created in God's image, so that's why we got the godly desires. But we also, like Adam and Eve, aim from the tree of knowledge. Which is why we have these worldly desires, desires of the flesh, as many Christians would like to say it, right? And so, as men, we know we don't want to give into the evil shit, right? So we're in this constant battle, right? We're in this constant battle to determine like what should I, you know, between our godly desires and our worldly desires to do what God wants us to do, or to just give in to the devil, to give in to those demons that's saying, okay, bro, it's okay to be weak. It's okay to be complacent. It's okay to not want to give out to the world. You know what I mean? It's okay to be in those negative stages. It's okay to get mad at people. Like, we are constantly fighting. And I say this word constantly because it's right here. I say it's not a one-time decision. Okay, you are every single day you are fighting a battle. And I heard this saying from, like, I don't know where I heard it, like, but you're in a spiritual warfare. Okay, as men, we're trying to become soldiers of God, right? That's basically what we want. We're soldiers, and the masculine essence of a soldier is the one that follows the command. A soldier of God that follows the command of the Lord. He's masculine, he's dominant, he's fighting the good fight and shit like that. And I'm sounding like a preacher, but, like, you know what I mean? It's like constantly in the spiritual warfare. And again, like, I like to break shit down in very, very minor like components. Spiritual, it's not of the physical realm, right? Spiritual realm is like the emotions that we have. We're fighting that emotional thought where it's in the abstract. Like, you can't physically grab these things that we're talking about, right? You can't physically grab the devil. Like, if you could, you'd put him in a boxing match and beat his ass, right? But no, it's spiritual. It's in the abstract. It's in the mind, right? And so this fight is something that we have to develop our internal characteristics, okay? Like discipline, like willpower and shit like that. And so, yeah, we're constantly fighting that fight. We're constantly in the spiritual warfare. Okay, so now we have to choose one. To choose one is to deny the other. To choose God is to deny the devil. But to choose the devil is to deny God, right? And so I like to see this as it's really black and white, ones and zeros. It is not 50-50. Oh, I'll just do 50% of, instant gratification and, money, fame, women, and just pursue those things, but then 50% pursuing the Lord. I'll go to church on Sundays, right? And that's my time with the Lord. And then and then the rest of the days, I'll just be giving into sin and shit like that. That is not how shit works. That is not how shit works. Okay? When you choose one thing, you go, like, one of my favorite quotes is, whatever you do it 100%, right? So when you choose one, when you choose God, you are denying the other one. There's no, like, I'm choosing God 50% and I'm choosing the devil 50%. It doesn't work like that, okay? You are only able to choose one with every decision that you make. So basically, every decision you make either brings you closer to God, helps you fulfill your purpose, gives back to the world and all of that shit, that it helps pursue your own godly desires, or it leads you closer to the devil, right? It, makes you go into casual sex, like sin, basically. Sin is what I would say, right? It leads you closer to God, or it leads you closer to sin, okay? There's no, like, well, this will lead me to, God, but also it could be, there's no in between. There's no in between, okay? There's no in between with this. It's one or the other, okay? So you're constantly choosing a side every waking second. It's not a one-time decision. Every waking second, every decision that you make, it either leads you closer to God or not, okay? And so the choice is, like, will you be present? Will you be present and choose God, or rationalize with the devil? So this is kind of like a side tangent. I didn't know how to word it on the board, but, like, I really started to believe, or to think, that when we use our brain too much, we're, like, rationalizing, right? Okay, you know what? Maybe I'll start, I'll watch porn again because maybe this, I'll start feeling better about it. You know what I mean? Maybe I'll do casual sex because this and this and this. Maybe I'll drink out at night today because my friends are going. We're rationalizing, okay? We're using our brain. We're using too much of our brain. And when we do that, like, I like to think our mind is our greatest weakness. Like, from the very beginning, we have been deceived. Like, the only way we can be deceived is with your mind, right? you're deceived through the mind. You can't really deceive your body. You can't deceive, I don't know how to say this, but like you're deceived through the mind, right? And so since Adam and Eve ate from the tree of knowledge, we are so susceptible to to the um to the devil's playground. There was a fucking saying. There was a saying that the mind is the devil's playground or some shit like that. Because the only time the devil can actually get his grasp on you, can actually subvert you, can actually move you off centered, can actually get you off your God-given path is through the fucking mind, right? And this is why being present is so important. This is why you kind of have to be dumbed down a bit. Like when they say have faith, right? When they say have faith, this basically means you're presented with information, especially against the odds, right? We're presented with information that that is against the odds, right? And so, like, have faith in something that you can't see, right? How's that possible? You know what I mean? The knowledge is not, you're uncertain. The uncertain. How the fucking say this? Hold on. Let me think about this. I'm trying to formulate my words in a way that you guys can understand this. It's like, faith is like the absence of knowledge, right? Adam and Eve ate from the tree of knowledge. To have faith, you gotta have to kick out some your logical brain. You know what I mean? You just have to accept that this is what it is. And so when they say have faith in God, have faith that things will go right, that this is the path, it means like you don't want to be consuming too much information, you know? Because when people don't have faith, right? When they have no faith, they start thinking, okay, what if this might happen? I don't want to do it because this might happen and all of this, and then, you know, I might get hit by a car, you know what I mean? You gotta have faith that you won't get hit by a car. Yeah, you gotta have faith that God has a plan for you. So, and when you walk around with that energy that you know that God is with you, right? That's when, how do I say this shit? I did not formulate the other part of this, but like, what I'm basically trying to say, so many people clicked off already, I don't fucking care. Basically trying to say is that your mind is where the devil will influence you, is where he will start, is where he will get you, okay? You cannot be just critically thinking. The more you critical think, the more you ask questions, or not necessarily like ask questions is bad, but the more you question the authority of God, the more you question your faith, like you don't have faith in it, the more you will be led astray, is what I'm trying to say. And so I wanted to end this with a little like I saw this from my Instagram reel, I'm not gonna lie, but it's a very, very awesome analogy. So there's a fence here, and on one side of the fence there's the devil. I'm gonna put this. Very happy devil. And there is, on the other side of the fence, is God. The devil says, you know, I'll give you everything that you ever wanted in this world. You know, I'll give you all the money that you want. I'll make you the highest status individual. You are the best in your field. You know, everybody fucking says, oh my gosh, bow down to you because you're so damn cool and fuck, right? I'll give you the most beautiful woman in the world, right? Everything you ever wanted in this world. But on the other side, there's God saying, you know what? I'll give you eternal life. You know, you can be fulfilled and have enlightened happiness and shit like that. Okay? Creation, gifting, all of that stuff. Or you can be with God. Okay? On the guy here, I'm gonna make it very short. It's not as cool of a story as the guy who said it. But basically, the guy says, you know what if I just stay in the middle, right? What if I just stay in the middle and just sit on the fence? So I get the best of both worlds, right? If I'm in the middle of the fence, I can have some of what you're offering, but I can also be closer with God. And so the guy sits on the fence. He sits on the fence and then, boom, pitch black. pitch black happens. You know what happens? He's here with the devil, and the guy's like, wait. I was on the fence. I was on the fucking fence. That doesn't count. And then the devil says, the fence is mine. The fence is mine. So this is it. Basically, again, like what I said about the more of the story is like you cannot choose. You cannot be indecisive. You cannot stand on the fence. You must choose one or the other. Every decision you make is either you're choosing to follow the devil or you're choosing to follow God. Okay, and so you cannot let yourself fall victim to the devil's deception. Okay, because then he made you believe that this wasn't his, right? Until you actually sat down and chose. Okay, and so that's the little fucking story, and it's a very, very sad story for the dude. But in relation to us, that's just one decision. But every single waking hour, second that we have, is this decision of the fence. Are we choosing this side or this side? I know I just fucking erased it, but like, are we choosing with this side or this side? Okay, and so yeah, I like to end it. Okay, this is why I actually like to end it, because I don't think I said it correctly. I might make another video on it so I can better articulate my point. But in essence, you must stop thinking too much. You must stop thinking too much. The mind is where the devil's playground. So that means that is where he will try to deceive you. You know, it's never anything too crazy. Like it's never anything too crazy. Like this is extremely bad, right? Of course you're not gonna choose it. No, the way he does it is through deceit, right? It's through sublimation, right? You don't even know it's happening type shit. And so it's not like a pure like clearly like this is bad. You know what I mean? Like there's a lot of things that we can see that it's clearly bad for us. You know what I mean? But then there's things that will sublimate, that's underneath the covers. And that's the thing that will creep up on you, and that's the thing that will pull you down into sin. And so part of those things that will pull you down is rationalization, is actually thinking, actually trying to use your brain to think about the benefits of this sin, you know? If I feel lazy right now, it's okay because I did some work before. It's okay for me to not work towards my purpose because I did it yesterday. You know what I mean? It's like rationalization is not it. Okay? Too much. You're using your knowledge to that. Well, basically, that knowledge is leading you closer to the devil. Is basically what I'm trying to say. And so, you got to be present. You got to disregard the mind's illusion of the future and the past and be here and now. And because if you're here and now, you're present. And if you're present, you can talk to God. The only time you can actually do something is here and now. All of the negative connotations of, you know, anxiety, worry, guilt, shame, it can be here and now. Okay? And so that is what I have for this video. God resides within us, but so does the devil. Choose God. I'll see you guys later. Deuces.